So we're doing lesson 27, laws of exponents. And that's page 177 for reference. All right. We are going to apply knowledge that we have learned into something called the laws of exponents that describes a relationship between each other. So what we're going to do is we need to remember that a counting number exponent indicates how many times a base is a factor. For example, x to the nth power, whatever n is, equals x times x times x to whatever x stands for. Okay? So applying that information, we can do something like this. X to the fifth times x to the third power equals x to the
second.
No.
7.
There's 5x.
15.
There's 5 x's here.
15.
There's 3 x's here. 5 plus 3 is 8.
Oh, I thought you subtract. That was a failure.
We're multiplying. Since we're multiplying, we're actually going to add them because there's 5 x's and 3 x's, and 5 plus 3 is 8. All right? So when we multiply them, we actually add our exponents because all that's telling us is our total amount of x's is 8. And that's a good, useful tool. Now, going the other way around with division, for instance, 3 to the fifth divided by 3 to the third, how many 3's on top? 5. How many 3's on bottom? 3. If I were to divide it, I end up with how many 3's? What's 5 minus 3? 2. So our answer would be 9.
Yes, because 3 times 3.
Okay?
Do you have to write 9 or do you write 3 squared?
No, it depends on what the problem's asking you. In this case, it's just asking you your exponents. When you divide your exponents, when the stuff is the same, 5 minus 3 equals 2. Right? It does get a little more complicated than that. For example, x to the third squared. This one you have to be careful with. Before when we did this, if we did x to the third times x to the third, we'd have x to the 6, right? 6 x's. That's exactly what this problem here is asking us to do. X to the third times x to the third. And in that sense, 3 times 2, which is 6. So our answer is x to the 6. Because this problem here is asking us to do this. And that gives us that solution, x to the 6. Okay? So you will sometimes multiply your exponents instead of adding them, but your parentheses would indicate that that's what you're doing. So you need to be aware of that when you're doing today's lesson. So in your notebooks, I want you to write these laws down. This is the laws of exponents. Not hard lesson today, more rules. Laws of exponents for multiplication and division. Ooh, spelled that wrong. Laws for multiplication and division. And the rule works like this. X to the a power times x to the b power equals x a plus b. In essence, when you're multiplying the same bases, you add your exponents. Okay, so this is the condensed, simplified rule. When you're multiplying the same bases, all you need to do is add your exponents. Make sense? Okay, rule number 2 then. When you're dividing x to the a divided by x to the b, your answer is x a minus b. Because you're dividing the same base, all you need to do is subtract your exponents. I have one more rule to indicate what we're doing. And our last rule goes like this. And this has to do with the parentheses. X to the a power, x to the a power, and then times another power, in this case b, yields x to the a times b. So we're going to multiply the two. And I'll give you guys a chance to practice this in a minute. Okay, so those are the three rules. Three simple rules. Three rules. All right. So, in theory, we could say this. 10 to the 8th power times 10 to the 6th power would give us, if we apply rule number 1, what?
10 to the 14th.
10 to the 14th power. Excellent. Okay? If I did 10 to the 8th power divided by 10 to the 8th power divided by 10 to the 6th power, what would I end up with?
10 to the 2nd.
10 to the 2nd power. Very good. Okay? Not hard, is it? But just one more just to mess with you guys. Third rule. 10 to the 5th power squared is
10 to the 3rd.
how many total 10s are we dealing with?
100.
No.
5, 7.
No, not 7 this time because we got the parentheses. So what this is telling us, this is where it gets confusing. 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 5th. Now what is it?
250.
Now what is it?
10 to the 10th.
10 to the 10th.
Oh.
5 times 2.
Oh, okay.
When it's in parentheses, what it's telling you is this is 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 5th. Okay? So that's why we end up with 10 to the 10th. We multiply them because that's what this is actually indicating to us. It's indicating that we are multiplying 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 5th to yield 10 to the 10th power. Okay? Anyone want to give one a shot? I'll write it down. Christy, come on up. Give you a shot at this. Rock and roll, Christy. Excellent. Anyone else want to come give it a shot? Beck?
So mean. It was a compliment.
Perfect. Anyone else want to give one a go? Joe? I am going to trip you up on this one, Joe. Think of rule number 3. Excellent. Nice work, Joe. Anyone have any questions today? You did it. You did it exactly right. That's rule number 3. Okay? If you don't have to write this down, but that's what you're doing. So if that helps you, please do that. But you're actually multiplying them. But you only need to do that when you have the parentheses. Okay? Rock and roll. Nice work, guys.